Yeah, it was. It was a lot. It was a very positive performance for large aspects of the game. I think we've met as a group this morning and we've said that there were certain things we could have tidied up, prevented. We probably had to work pretty hard for our tries, whereas we probably gave them a couple of softer tries. So there's disappointing aspects as well. But I think on the whole, I think we've played the two best teams in Europe probably over the last 3 seasons, over the last 2 weeks, and we've come up against. And we've put a good show in. We're disappointed not to have won the game, and that's a big opportunity missed on the weekend. But the positive signs are there for us to move forward and pick up some results rather than positive performances.
You say you have to work hard for your tries, but your shape seemed a lot better on the weekend, and Dylan came for those tries. Did it just click, or
I think we've been probably adapted a little bit more of a positive mindset in the last sort of maybe 3 weeks. I thought personally we were a little bit unlucky not to win the game against the Scarlets. I know they obviously scored 3 tries, but 2 really soft tries from our point of view. So we took a little bit of confidence from how well they've been playing as well to probably should have won that game. And then we just adopted a bit of a mindset saying, well, very rarely are you going to sort of grind a team like Saracens or Clermont down. So we've adopted a positive mindset, and it seems to have suited us a little bit. And we've actually played some positive rugby and put ourselves in situations where we potentially could have won 2 big games. So I think that's something we've got to try and keep going now and keep driving in terms of not going away from being positive and looking to play from deep, and because we've got some fantastically skilled players and talent in the group. It's just that sometimes that little bit of confidence and a bit of a boost and that they need to go on and kick on.
Do you think a performance like that can galvanise you, can perhaps not turn things around, because you mentioned that you were on a bit of an upward curve, but can it just get you together now? And
yes and no. I think ultimately, yeah, of course it's positive, and there's a lot of confidence the boys have taken from such a good performance against by far the best team in Europe over the last couple of years. But again, ultimately it is another defeat which we're not sort of settling for, and that's something which is massively disappointing, where we probably should have, for some aspects, could have done a lot better and maybe been on the end of a positive scoreline. So, but I definitely think that the last 2 weeks will be a bit of a catalyst for us in terms of our positive attacking play, and hopefully we can keep that going into Friday night and build into a tough month.
Where does it leave you, Europe-wise, do you think?
Well, look, we're 1 point away from potentially, if we'd have won 1 and lost 1. So I think probably at the start of our campaign, it wouldn't have been the worst result. I think we'll know more where we are after the Northampton games back to back, where if we pick up sort of 8 or 9 points from that, which is going to be hugely difficult because I've got to side Northampton now, then we're going to be up against it. But I think if we can pick up back-to-back wins there, then we've got a sneaky hope, and we've got a good home record in Europe and things. So we're not getting away from where we are. We're in an uphill battle to get out of this group with the quality of teams that are in. But let's hope that we can pick up back-to-back wins in December, and you never quite know where that may leave us.
There are other matters that have been floating around for the last week. You've touched a bit upon it on the weekend. Reece's situation, it seems unfortunate. There obviously has been a bit of ambiguity on either side, or one side or the other. As someone who will be in England next year, can you fathom not having Reece in your side in 2019 for the World Cup, given that he's never played in the World Cup?
Well, I've got to be there myself first for me to be in the same team as Reece. But look, I think that's something which is well above my pay grade in terms of discussing, and I think like I said on Saturday, I think let's just hope a little bit of common sense sort of prevails. But from that point of it, it's not really my place to comment.
No,
it's Reece. Well, hopefully, of course, we want Reece playing for Wales. We want Reece playing rugby every week, don't you, and things. So let's hope something gets sorted, because with us being in Wales, we need all our best players playing. But like I said, I think that's certainly above my pay grade to answer that type of question.
When you were making your decision, Dan, how much were you aware of this? Did you know about it at all? Did you know you were on?
Again, every situation is different. I signed sort of quite a few months ago, so I just took the decision that I was going to be there was a chance via the wildcard route, and and that was just my call. So yeah, no, in terms of that, look, it's not really something which I'm overly keen to talk about, because I think enough's been spoken about it and written about it and everything over the last few weeks or last week or whatever it is, and I think it's for my job is to sort of concentrate on playing rugby and worrying about getting the show back on the road here with a positive result on Friday evening. So I think let's hopefully leave everything like that to the men in the suits and different things, and we'll try and concentrate on backing up performances like we did on Saturday against the Dragons on Friday night.
One final thing on that match then. How many caps you got at the moment?
56.
56. So you're banking on getting 4 before the end of the season, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's the plan. The plan is to try and play well and get picked on two. I think it's tomorrow the squad's been announced, and go from there. So yeah, look, it's something which.
But you want to play every game, so it's regardless.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, of course I'd love to. You want to play every game and things. So let's hope things can get sorted. And but my main concern, and like I said, I know it's really, really cliche, and I hate sort of producing cliches like it, but at the minute, the run that we're on at the minute, although we've had some really good performances the last couple of weeks, it really is about making sure that we go into camp, whoever's selected, on a positive note, and leave this place, after some good performances. It's so important that we get a W on the weekend.
So how difficult has it been the last few weeks?
It hasn't been difficult. The boys have been brilliant. The coaches have been excellent in terms of, like I mentioned, we've adopted a bit more of a positive approach rather than sort of being too down on ourselves and things. I think the first few weeks were tough because I think we probably didn't do ourselves as much justice as we would have liked. But I think leading in from possibly the Scarlets was a bit of a turning point where we sort of fronted up against a team who were flying. And I think we've just adopted a mindset of, look, we're going to have to be positive in games. We don't want to. The last thing you want to do is go into games and not fire any shots and come off losing, sort of thing. At least if you're going to go down, let's fire a few shots and let's throw things at the opposition. So in terms of the boys have been excellent. They've responded well. They've gone about their work, and boys care about making sure that we get everything right on the field and putting in performances, because no one likes losing every week. That's the last thing we want to do. So it certainly hasn't been through the lack of trying and things like that. It's just we've come up obviously the last 3 fixtures. Probably if we play, let's just take Clermont and Saracens out of it, we probably play any other 2 teams in Europe, we've got a good chance of winning those 2 games. It's just the quality of opposition we've faced in the last 2 weeks. We're probably sitting here in a different pool, may well be sort of top of the pool with 8 or 9 points, but that's we aren't, and that's how it is. But I think it hasn't been as tough as maybe as everyone's making out, and I think what we've got to do now is everyone can sort of, when you're winning 8 or 9 on the bounce, you almost don't need coaches, you almost don't need player or anything, you just turn up on a Saturday, whereas you find out a lot more about individuals and people when times are a little bit tougher.
It's interesting to see who's been standing tall. I mean, Watkey comes back and plays 2 very good games. Sam Cross comes in and does it. God bless him, Nicky in the back there has been carrying more than anybody. It's been amazing to see who's been sort of
Yeah, he's been all right, Nicky has. No, the boys have been good. They responded well, and like I said, it's been a real show of character for us. And I think, on the whole, I think as a team we've fronted up quite well. So, like I said, we fronted up well, and we've competed well, and quite possibly should have won a few more games, but ultimately we haven't, and that's what we're judged on. We're not here for sympathy, or we don't. My personal opinion is that we don't want all the plaudits every week and coming off second best from scoring 4 tries and things. It kind of is a real strange situation, because we'd have much rather played absolutely terrible on the last 2 games, got slated by all you guys or whatever it is, and picked up 2 wins, than have played. And that kind of sometimes is a bit of the Welsh mentality. We scored 4 tries, we played really good rugby, we've lost, so all of a sudden we get plaudits and things. So that's not comfortable for me where we're at. But I think it's about continuing the positivity in the camp and the performances. But ultimately we have to try. We have to win on Friday night.
Do you think that sort of positivity you're talking about here, we've seen with the Australians, for instance? I don't know if you saw the game at the weekend, but they score 4 tries, they win. They scored 5 tries the game before and 4. They keep on going and they keep on going. They keep on knocking at the door, and eventually it opens. Yeah,
there's no real surprise to see the Aussies find some form ready for the first November game, as they do every year. But yeah, exactly. They've had a really tough sort of summer in terms of a couple of tough defeats to the All Blacks, and I think 2 draws against South Africa they had. So I think it's, like I said, the difference with maybe an Australian side is they've got a lot of experience and a lot of guys who've maybe been there and haven't performed at some stage in their careers, and they know how to come through it. And in terms of, for us, it's about maybe some of the senior guys sort of helping out the younger guys and realising that sometimes things don't go well all the time, and you have to sort of sometimes just step up and dig in a little bit. And I think it's, in a strange kind of way, it may well be, we have to turn the corner first and foremost, but there's no way any player goes through their career without having a little bit of stick off the press or a little bit of stick from outside of the environment and things like that, and find out how tough it is. And I think that may do us good in the long run. But ultimately, the first thing we have to do, we have to win on Friday night to build some confidence back into the group and make sure it's a winning camp rather than taps on the backs for sort of playing well but coming up short.
Dan, you know a bit about the Dragons playoff as
Yeah.
well?
Yeah, look, Gav, I was here for my first year really, first year and a bit with Gav, and I think the skill set that he's got, like I said, there's very few naturally as gifted players as him out there, so he's going to be a massive threat for us, the way he sort of just glides around the field and puts his team in the right areas. So it'd be great, never actually played against Gav, so it would be, if selected and if Gav's playing, it'll be really good to sort of test your wits against, a world-class player. So and they're going to come down and they're going to fancy themselves as well, in terms of they're going to think it's an opportunity for them, and they've got some really good players in the squad, and they've played some good rugby over the course of the opening few weeks as well. So it's about, like I said, it's just for us now, Friday night is about fronting up and trying to make life as difficult for the Dragons as we possibly can.
He's 35 now. What does he do well? And a lot of people question when he's coming back to work.
Yeah, well, I think if you watch the game, he's sort of everything. He looks as if he's got quite a bit of time on the ball, in terms of when he's. I watched the first half of the Blues game a couple of weeks ago, and he showed some really nice touches and just brings people into play around him. And I think, given that obviously the Dragons have got quite a young sort of setup in terms of the team there, and I think he probably gives a lot of confidence to others outside him and inside him. So with the talented guys they've got, sometimes they just need maybe that sort of focal point of a guy who's sort of been there, done it, and Gav certainly has done that, just to give them that bit of guidance. So he'll bring people into the game extremely well, and what he does well, he doesn't try and overdo the game in terms of doesn't try and force things, and just plays within himself, which is a very good attribute to have.
Final question then,
Any of your game modelled on him?
Not really. I'd say I'm probably the opposite of Gav, in terms of always look as if he's rushed on the ball and flapping around and everything. But I think what you take from Gav is, when I was growing up, in terms of the confidence he's got in himself, in terms of he used to back himself, and he'd always think he was right and things like that. And sometimes in the position you're in terms of 10, or sometimes in Welsh rugby, you have to make sure that you're confident and you've got a little bit about yourself, and that was always a striking thing for me when I was coming through, playing alongside Gav or watching him train and things. You would just think he was the best at everything, and that confidence sometimes just rubs off on people. And I hope that sometimes that works on my side, but obviously Gav's extremely talented. It'll be great to see him back at the Liberty. I think he spent some great years here and deserves a big reception when he comes. No, I was just about not quite that gap yet. So maybe I'll ask him on Friday night or something.